We are sponsored by Shalom Fogel, Lila Nishmas Yaakov Zev Ben Yehuda Aryeh, Rivka Bas Yaakov Yosef, Tzivya Miriam Bas Gad, Yosef Ben Tzion Ben Yaakov Zev. By Baruch Ian, Lila Nishmas Yaakov Chaim Ben Abba, Esther Bas Gittel, Avram Ben Shmuel HaKohen. By Yaakov Yamansky, with Akar Tov to the Rav and the Zoom family, and Nachas from children and grandchildren. By A.B. Spry, Nachas from children and grandchildren. By Ed Salah from London and Joshua Rosenberg, a virtual Talmud. See that Shalom Fogel is back here in Lakewood. And let's see what we got over here. We welcome in Eddie Chazan, Shelley Zeitlin, Ruvain Pollack, Yisrael Fisher, Shalom Fogel, Matthew Guy, Stephen Holtzman, Saba, Dr. Black, Aaron Swade, Irving Fishbaum, Menachem Mansky, Shimon Klein, Mel Zachter, Berish Gesserman, Mo Kushner, Nachman Chapler, Moshe Lehman, Naftali Jablin, Yeshua Shmuel Eisenberg, Ilya Shutman, Yitzi Muller, Yitz Fuchs, Rabbi Kranz, Abe Arbach. Here in the shul, we have a pleasure to have Gedalia Engel, Chaim Kramer, Rich Lenner, Baruch Ian, Ruvain Shanet, Avram Zepkowitz, is he still here? I'm not sure. Okay. No, he might be outside. Rich, can I trouble you for a cup of water? Okay. So now we are holding by another case on the bottom of Kuf Lamed Beis Amid Beis. Kuf Lamed Beis Amid Beis. So, two lines from the bottom of Kuf Lamed Beis Amid Beis. Two lines from the bottom. Was I right? Is he here? Yes. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol nהיה bidvaro.
Rabbi, I think we should be running this. We should have a full shalema.
Amen. That's a good idea. Moshe Meir ben Esther Fradel. Excuse me. So, Haud Amalahu Chatzkel says, Tlasa Labras, a third to one of my daughters, Utlasa Labras, a third to another of my daughters, Utlasa Leitas, and a third to my wife. Now we assume that he's giving her part of the karka of the estate so that she forgives her ksuva. But then there's a tragic twist. Shchiva chada mibanse. One of the daughters died, so that money reverts back into the estate. So Savar Apapi Lameimar, a puppy figures to say that Leishakla Elatlasa, the wife only gets a third, and she doesn't get from what goes back into the estate the ksuva. Says the Gemara, why? Amali Rav Kahana, he made a gift. Ilu hadar kani, if he would have bought more property after he made the gift, miloi shakla, wouldn't she be entitled to get a ksuva from that? She would. The cave in the ilu hadar kani shakla, Hashtanami, that money reverts back to the estate, also shakla. She also gets her ksuva from it. Now, 2 lines from the top of Kuf Lamed Gimel Lamed Aleph. How the palginu lenichsei leitzesei ulabnei. He divided equally his estate, giving to the sons and to the wife an equal share. Shayir chad dikla, there was left 1 palm tree that he didn't dole out. As we welcome in Daniel Rosenberg, there was left 1 palm tree that he didn't dole out. Sava Ravina Lameimar, so Ravina said, Lesla, she could only collect the ksuva elachad dikla, from that 1 palm tree. Amalei Rav Yema Ravina, Rav Yema said to Ravina, Lesla, since she was a partner in the division, she loses the right to her ksuva, chad dikla nami lesla, she shouldn't get from the palm tree either. Ella, migu denachsa ledikla, since we say she had in mind to collect from the palm tree, that means that she still has in mind to have her lien. Nachsa nami lekula nichse, she could collect also from that which was given for the boys if he predeceases her or divorces her, she could collect her ksuva. Amar Rav Huna, shchiv meira shekosav kol nechosav la'achad. This is very interesting. Chatzkel is on his deathbed, lo yaleinu, and he writes all of his estate to Shelley. So Rowan, we want to know, let's leave Shelley out, let's make it Chatzkel. He writes all of his estate to Chatzkel. Now the question is Chatzkel getting it as a gift, or is Chatzkel getting it as Yerusha? So, Shchimei Rashi of Kol Nechasav La'acher, Royan, we observe the circumstances. Im Ro'i L'Yorshai, if Chatzkel is fit to inherit, in other words, there are sons, and he's one of the sons, and we'll see that this means that this is going like Rabbi Yochanan ben Breika, that you could give to one son amongst the sons, you could give it all to one son. Then Naitlun Mishim Yerusha, then he gets it as an inheritance. V'im lav, but if he's not in the line of Yerusha, then Naitlun Mishim Matana. Now, the Gemara is going to ask what's the difference, but at this point, the Gemara says it would seem to be that Rav Huna is just saying that you could give to one son amongst the other sons, and he's telling us that Allah is like Rabbi Yochanan ben Breika. So Amalei Rav Nachman, so Rav Nachman says, if that's what you meant to say, then why do you have to go about it in such a roundabout way, as if you're sneaking? Gan v'genuve lamalach. Why are you sneaking like a ganif? Isvir lach Rabbi Yochanan ben Breika. If you just wanted to say that there's a way that it could be Yerusha and that the lach is like Rabbi Yochanan ben Breika, that you could give it to one son amongst the other sons, Eima halacha Rabbi Yochanan ben Breika. Because what you're saying is Rabbi Yochanan ben Breika who the asla. Says the Gemara, no. Maybe there's a completely different chiddush over here. Dilma kihaka amra. Perhaps it's coming to tell us like this case. Somebody was dying. And we said to Chatzkel, Nichse Laman, who should your estate go to? Dilma Leplanya? Do you want it to go to so-and-so? V'amalahu, and he said to them, Ela Laman, who else? V'amrit lanala, and we say, since it wasn't clear if he was giving it as a gift or as Yerusha, then Imroy Yarshay, if he's in the line of Yerusha, Naitlan Mishum Yerusha. V'imlav, if not, Naitlan Mishum Matana. Amalei, so he says, yeah, in Haki Kamida, that's what I wanted to teach. So the Gemara says, what's the difference if it's Yerusha or if it's Matana? Very big difference. Let me tell it to you outside. If it's Yerusha, then his widow would be supported from the money. Because that's the din, that a widow is supported from money that the husband left when he died. However, if it was a gift before death, then the widow doesn't get support, because the husband didn't have it when he died. Says the Gemara, let's see it inside. L'may hilchasa. Sava Rav Ada bar Ava kamei d'Rava l'meimar. Imroi l'yarshay, if he's inheriting it, so he's getting it after death, al menusay nizaynes min chasav, then his widow is supported from that property. But v'imlav, if he gave it over before he died, then he didn't have it at the time that he died, then ein al menusay nizaynes min chasav, then his widow would not get supported from it. So the Gemara says, you know, this whole din of a matna shchiv meirah, that he gives a gift when he's alive, and it's chal after he dies, that's only a din d'Rabbanan. And you're going to say that din d'Rabbanan they made stronger than Yerusha d'Oraisa? Amalei Rava migra gara hashta b'Yerusha d'Oraisa? It's migra gara. Should she lose out? The din of matna shchiv meirah is d'Rabbanan. Hashta b'Yerusha d'Oraisa. By biblical Yerusha, Amrit al menusay nizaynes min chasav, his widow benefits from his estate. But matana d'Rabbanan, a gift that operates rabbinically loy kol shechem. So that can't be the difference. So we're back to the drawing board. Then what's the difference? Ella Amar Rava, Kideshalach Rav Acha bar Rav Avya. Rav Acha bar Avya, like Rav Acha bar Avya sent, L'divrei Rabbi Yochanan ben Broika. According to Rabbi Yochanan ben Broika, that you could give to one child exclusively, if he says nichsei lach, the property should go to the one child, and then va'acharecha leploini, and then afterwards it should go to Shelley. Im haya rishon roy liyarshay, if the first one that he gave it to was a son, so he was fit to be Irish, when that son dies, it doesn't go to Shelley. Ein l'sheni b'makom rishon klum, it doesn't go to Shelley. She'ein Lashon Matana, he didn't give it as a gift. El Lashon Yerusha, he gave it as an inheritance. And an inheritance never gets interrupted. So once it was given to the son, when the son dies, it goes to the son's relatives and not to Shelley. El Lashon Yerusha, v'Yerusha ein lo hefsek. Says the Gemara, Amalei Rava Rav Nachman, but v'ha afseka. But the father was mapsik. He says it should go to the son, and then afterwards to Shelley, so he terminated the Yerusha. So the Gemara says, yeah, the father thought he could do that. Who suffered yesh lo hefsek? The father thought he could terminate it. Rachmana Amar, but the Torah says, ein lo hefsek. You cannot terminate Yerusha. So once it goes to the son, after the son dies, it goes to the son's relatives and not to Shelley. Ha'uda amalei l'chavrei. Now here what happened is a shchiv meirah told his friend, nichsai lach, it should go to you, chatzkel, va'acharecha leploini, and then afterwards to Shelley. V'rishon roy liyarshay hava, and chatzkel was a son, so therefore he was a Yerush. So, but he did say it should go afterwards to Shelley. Shachav Rishon, so the son died. Also Sheni Katava. So Shelley said, look, he said afterwards it should be to me. But we also have a svara that Yerusha ain't lo hefsik. So it should go after to the son's son, or to the son's brother. So Savar Rav Elish Kamei de Rava Lemeimar. So Rav Elish figured to say before Rava, Sheni Nami Shakel. Shelley and Chatzkel's relative should split it. They're making a compromise. Shelley likes it. Amalei daine de chetzatzta hachi daine. Chetzatz is a lashon of splitting. Dayanim that try to compromise paskin that way, but that's not the din. The din is that since it was given to Chatzkel within Yerusha, when he dies, Yerusha ain't lahefsik, and Shelley doesn't get nothing. As they say in English, Shelley gets bupkes. And that's what the Gemara says. Lav hainu d'shalch Rav Acha bar Rav Avia. Isn't that what Rav Acha bar Rav Avia said? That Yerusha ain't lo hefsik. So Achsif, Rav Elish was embarrassed that he made such a mistake. So Rav Elish was a big man. So Rava wanted to mollify him. Kari alei, he said about him, Ani Hashem, I Hashem, be'ita in its time, achishena, I make it quick. Meaning that you, Rav Elish, the Rabbeinu Shalom, didn't want you to make a mistake, so he made me get here in a hurry so that I could catch you, that you shouldn't make a mistake. So now here we have the interesting question. It's a very interesting question. If a parent has a child who's a drug addict, has a child that's an alcoholic, serious alcoholic, should he disinherit him and give the money to tzedakah? Give the money to adopt a kailo? Give the money to Agud Yisrael Beisev of Fairways Lakewood? Right? So, says the Mishnah, HaKoisev es nechasav la'acherim, if a parent writes his estate to other people, v'aniach es banav, forsaking his own children, Masha also, what he does, he does. He could give his money to whoever he wants. Ela ein ruach chachamim noichei menu. The spirit of the sages are not pleased with it. The sages don't want you to circumvent the Yerusha of the Torah. Reb Shimon Gamliel says, well, not if the son is a no goodnik. Reb Shimon Gamliel Aimer, im lo hayu banav noihagim kishura, if the children aren't behaving properly, Zacha l'tayv, he should be remembered for good, for not throwing away his money that way, and giving it to a good cause. The question is, did the Tanna Kama argue on Reb Shimon Gamliel? That's not clear. You see, it could be that the Tanna Kama agrees with Reb Shimon Gamliel, just the Tanna Kama is talking about somebody that circumvents his children, giving it to his poker buddy. So that the spirit of the sages are not happy with. But maybe they agree with Reb Shimon Gamliel that if he's a no goodnik, then you could, it's Zachal HaTayv. Or, the argument the other way, and that argument is that even if your child is loyalenu, if the person's child is no good, but give him the Yerusha because maybe you'll have good grandchildren. Maybe you'll have good great-grandchildren. So the shaila is, did the Tanna Kama argue on Reb Shimon Gamliel? So that's what the Gemara starts with here. Ibayilu, mi pligi rabbanon alei de Reb Shimon Gamliel. Do the rabbis argue on Reb Shimon Gamliel, and they hold that even if the child is a no goodnik, you still shouldn't circumvent the Yerusha? Or they're not arguing. They're talking about where the child is good. So Tashma, The Yosef ben Ye'ezer, Hayaloi ben Shaloi Hayanoi Kishura. Yosef ben Ye'ezer had a child that was not behaving correctly. Havale Elisa de Dinre, he had a purse of dinare, come Akdisha. And he went ahead and he dedicated it to the Hektish. He didn't give it to his son. Ozil Nosiv Bas Gadol Klile Diyane Malka. This son married the maker of the crowns of Yanei Amelech. The daughter of the maker of the crown of Yanei Amelech. Yeah. So, Olida de Biseyu, the wife gave birth, and Zavin-la Benisa, the wife gave birth, and she's a kimpeter, so he bought her a fish. Nice guy, buys his wife a fish. She's recovering. He buys it. You think there's something fishy? Buys her a fish. Kara, when they opened up the fish, Ashkech bar Margalisa, she found in it a very precious gem or pearl. Amrle, she gave him good business advice. Loi timtiei lamalka, don't offer it to the king, because he'll give you a cheap price, and then you won't be able to say no. The shakli menach b'demei klila, he's not going to give you a good price. Zil amtei legabe gizbore, go offer it to the temple gizbar, the temple treasurer. And she gave him another piece of advice. V'loi tishaymei at, you don't make an offer, because once you make an offer, that's binding. Because the amirasa legvaya, a statement to the temple is kimisirasa ledid, it's like delivering it to a commoner. El shayminu inu, let them make you an offer for it. Amtiya, they brought it to the temple. Temple always is honest. Shamua betleiser aliyasa didinre. They assessed it to be worth 13 sacks of dinari. Amrele, and the temple needed it. Maybe it was a gem for the Choshen. Amrele, they told him, Sheva Ika, we have 7 sacks. Shislek, we don't have the other 6. So Amalahu, so he said to them, Sheva Havali, give me 7, and Shis, and 6, Harihain Mekdeshes L'Shamayim, they should be sanctified to heaven. So Amdu v'Kasvu, they wrote in the log, Yosef ben Yoezer Hichnis Achas. His father, when he disinherited him, gave 1 sack of dinari. Ubenai, his son, Hichnis Sheish, gave 6 sacks. V'ikad Amrei, others say, Yosef ben Yoezer Hichnis Achas, he gave 1 sack. Ubenai, and the son took away from Hektish 7 sacks. Chaitzi Sheva. So the Gemara wants to say that Midika Amrei Hichnis, since it says that he brought in 6, he dedicated 6, that means he turned a good leaf because Yosef ben Yoezer disinherited him, and therefore it's a good thing that he disinherited him. While Michlal the Shaparot says the Gemara, Adrab, the other way around, Midika Amrei Hoitzi, that he took away from Hektish 7, Michlal the Lav Shaparot, disinheriting him wasn't a good move. From here we can't decide whether the Rabbanan will argue on Reb Shimon Gamliel about disinheriting a no good child. So my Havi Allah, what's the maskana? So Tajma, the Amalei Shmuel Rav Yehuda, Shmuel said to Rav Yehuda, Shinin, a sharp one, Loi tahave bei avure achsanta. Don't be those that circumvent the Yerusha of the Torah. Va'afilu mibra bisha lebra tova. Even to take away from a bad son and give it to a good son. In other words, don't strip the bad son of his chelik. V'kol shechein lebra lebrata. You should definitely not take away from a son to a daughter. So we see that it's not a good idea to circumvent the Yerusha from a bad child. So that must be the opinion of the Tanakama, that even from a bad child, you shouldn't circumvent the Yerusha, because maybe he'll have a good grandson. So now, we're going to start this, even though we won't finish it tonight. Tana Rabbana, Ma'isa ba'adam echad. There was an incident with a certain person, Shlo hayabanav noigin keshura, that the children were not behaving properly. Amad v'kasav nechasav liyonis and ben Uziah. So he went ahead and gave his property to Yonis ben Uziah. Remember, Yonis ben Uziah was such a great Talmud of Rabbi Yochanan that when a bird flew over his head while he was learning, it got burnt. Ma'asa Yonis ben Uziah. What did he do with the property? Machar shlish, he sold a third. V'hikdish shlish, he dedicated a third. V'hirzer lebanav shlish, and he returned to the children a third. The father didn't give it, but he returned to the children a third. Baal of Shammai b'makloi v'tarmiloi. So it seems to be that Shammai was very displeased with what Yonasan ben Uziel did, and he traveled to him with his walking stick and money bag. Amalei, and he said to him, Amalei Shammai, Im ati yochel lahoitzi es ma shemacharti, excuse me, Baal of Shammai b'maklei v'tarmilei. Shammai came to protest, that it wasn't right for him to give back to the children when the father didn't want it to go to the children. So Yonis ben Uziel said to him, in essence, if you could make me undo what I sold and what I dedicated, you could make me undo what I gave to the children. You can't make me undo what I sold and what I dedicated. You also can't make me undo what I gave to the children. Amalei Shammai. If you could undo what I sold, then you could take away that which I returned to the children. Imlav, but of course you can't undo what I sold or what I dedicated. So you cannot take away what I returned to the children. Obviously, it was his opinion that some of the Yerusha should go to the children, and we'll talk about why in Yirtzeh Hashem tomorrow. I want to say, first of all, we do not yet have a sponsor for Lech Lecha, 718-916-3100, rmmwsi@aol.com. Also, Mazel Tov, we finished Bava Metzia. I already was too long Mishnayos, so when I did it between Mincha and Harav, I already recorded it. It's already uploaded on Torah Anytime, on YouTube, on those that I digitally send it to have gotten it already. Thank you very much for joining us.